All right, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at right now. Today's video, I want to talk a little bit, tell you a little story that happened. But first of all, I'm not saying Filipino girls are all crazy and they're nuts and they're buwang. I brought my asawa here. I don't think she's crazy.
Oh, I'm crazy with my own way.
Yeah, we're all crazy in our own little way. But I wanted to tell you this story because something happened this past weekend. And I brought Lut here so she could give her, her input on, her thoughts about what happened. We have a gentleman here who lives in our apartment complex. He's an older guy. I'd say late 60s, somewhere around there. He's been in the Philippines for quite a few years. He's lived in different places in the Philippines. He's had different girlfriends, he told me. When he goes into a relationship with the girl, he does tell her, listen, I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not looking to have any children. I'm looking to have a companion, somebody that'll be with me, go out to eat, travel around, just spend time with. And in return, he tells him, listen, you can stay here in the apartment, help me clean, cook, do laundry, things like that. And in return, he gives out the allowance. I never understood the allowance. I always that was something that you gave a child when they were growing up for helping out. But anyways, there's a thing called an allowance here. But
it's allowance.
It's allowance.
You're helping her eventually.
Yeah, you're
in return, you're helping her because she only have also expenses to pay.
Right.
Nothing is free.
Yeah, I mean, it helps with her. Whatever she needs, some clothes, some shoes, makeup, shampoo, laundry, or just different things that she might need that he's just not going to provide. So, in essence, basically, I guess he's got a maid, a live-in maid, and in return he takes care of her. But anyways, about a month ago, he came up to me and he told me, he said, listen, he goes, I don't know what to do about this girl. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, I think she's crazy. I don't know how to get rid of her. How do I get rid of her? And I said, well, I really don't know because I really don't have experience on that. Not my cup of tea. I never, hired or brought someone in as a companion. So I really don't know. And I asked him, I said, what do you mean she's crazy? He said, well, first of all, she drinks a lot. And when she starts drinking, she'll just start banging on things. He goes, I don't do anything to upset her or make her mad or anything like that. Now, I don't know. I don't live with him, but I'm just going off of what he says. The guy seems like a kind of a, laid back, chilled kind of guy. But he said, yeah, she'll just start banging on things and stuff. And he goes, I don't know what to do. I said, what have you done in the past? He goes, I just told the girls, hey, it's not working out. I think you should go your own way, and we'll just part companies. But like I said, he does tell the girl up front, he's only looking for friendship, a companion, and nothing else. Not, a wife or anything like that. So the girl goes in knowing that. But anyways, he said, I'll just have to tell her it's not going to work out. So he told her, okay, it's not going to work out. You need to pack your things up. You need to, leave, and we'll just go about our way. And he said she did. She left. But a few days after that, she was showing up middle of the day sometimes, late at night. Banging on the door, all drunk, opening up the window, throwing stuff in there, screaming and hollering and yelling. One night, she actually ran through the back of the empty apartment into the hallway that's in the back of all the apartments, and then started beating on his back door and screaming and yelling and everything. The barangay came. The barangay got involved. They didn't really do too much. It was basically, settle your indifferences. So after maybe a few days, I noticed she was back. And I asked him, I said, well, why is she back? I thought you had gotten rid of her, and told her you didn't want to be with her. He goes, I don't know what to do. He goes, she has nowhere to go. I just kind of feel bad for her, which I think right there was his mistake. allowing her back. But anyways, you know, everything seemed calm there for about a week. And then here the other night, the banging was going on. Everything was going crazy. I don't know if the barangay came that night. I don't know what the deal was. But what the guy did was he said, he goes, I locked myself in my room. He goes, because she started throwing things. And he goes, and I didn't want to stop her, put my hands on her and tell her, listen, quit throwing things, stop throwing things, trying to defend himself. He goes, because I don't, if any mark gets on her for me trying to restrain her, she's going to go run to the police, because she already told him, listen, if you put any mark on me, I'm going to go to the police and tell them you hit me. So he locked himself in the bedroom, and she was beating on the door 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Eventually it just stopped. And then here this past weekend, I think it was Saturday night, probably around 11 o'clock at night, I hear all this crashing and breaking and screaming and yelling. Once again, she was, going off. I later found out that he said, he goes, I just locked myself in my room because I didn't know what to do. But he said, she broke glasses and dishes. And I even looked in the apartment, and there were glasses and dishes all broken all over. He said at one point he came out because she was kicking the door and started ripping the door off. So he came out, and she took part of the door and hit him across his arms. He had his arms like this to defend, because all his wounds were defense. He was defending himself. His arms are all cut up, banged up. He's got cuts on his head and everything like that. And now at this point, the barangay came in. They came in strong with about 6-7 guys. I'm like, I got to see how this is going to play out, because this is going to be interesting. Who are they going to blame? So the barangay came, talked to the girl, and here's what I don't like. Here's where I'm going to ask split. She kept saying to the barangay, "We're Filipino. We're Filipino. We look out for each other. We're Filipino." My thing is, why is that? Why did they do that? What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Back in the United States, the police would have came in, they'd assessed the situation, they'd have made their assessment, and more than likely she would have been taken out because she was the aggressor. Why is that? Why do they do that?
I don't know. I don't hear that she say that. If I say that, I will tell her.
But see, it looks like me, she sees it and she says, if the person's doing something wrong, doesn't matter if it's male, female, black, white, Filipino, foreigner, the person that does the wrong thing, and they should be in trouble for it.
What is wrong is wrong.
Right. What is wrong is wrong.
That's simple it is.
But see, I think what happens is, at least up here in Angeles City, because things like this happen, it's not only the girl's fault, it could be the guy's fault. The guy mistreating the girl, whatever. And they're used to it up here. And, they go, and a lot of times the only way to make them go away as a foreigner is you pull something out of your pocket, you hand it to them, and then they'll make it all go away.
That's real talk. That's true.
It's cash talk.
Yeah.
It's cash talk.
The problem in this place is there has too much corruption involved. I don't believe police either.
Yeah.
Not at all. Because what happened is you don't know who's the right and wrong, because some of them, they're the one who set up that shit, and then they will scare the person, and then the person needs to pay for it. And that's already been going on for how many years now?
Yeah, it's been going on longer than we've been here. It's been going on here. But yeah, anyways, the barangay was there and basically doing nothing. It was kind of like the Keystone Cops showing up. I mean, it was kind of almost comical. They didn't do anything, they stood there and they listened to her. But what I didn't like was every time he wanted to say something to them, they'd listen, but she would jump in there right away and start talking, Tagalog or whatever she was speaking, and they would ignore him and start listening to her again, which I totally disagree with. And then the landlord got called because, like I said, this happened a couple of nights before and he was aware of it. So now the landlord shows up Now, landlord's, in my opinion, he's a fairly decent guy. He's a well-established businessman here. He's got some credibility. You know, his word is kind of, you know, credible here. When he showed up, he flat out looked at the girl and said, get out, get your stuff, get out of here. You've been told about this before. I didn't want to hear it again. You get out. So landlord stepped up to the plate. So then what happened was, she said, well, I'm calling the PNP, or I'm going to get the PNP. No, not the PNP, the local police. So she went and got the local police. Local police showed up, but the landlord did not want them in the apartment area. He said, no, you're not coming in. You stand outside the gate. We'll handle this. So they talked some more. The girl finally agreed, okay, I'm going to leave, but she wanted all her stuff, which was perfectly fine. So what happened was the barangay guys, they all went in and they started hauling all this out, stuff out, clothes, shoes, dressers, personal items, things like that. And she started screaming, the washer's in my name, the refrigerator's in my name, the air conditioner's in my name, I want that stuff. Once again, the landlord stepped up and he said, yes, we know what happened. He gave you money for you to go buy this stuff because he wanted a washer, he wanted a washer, he wanted a, what do you want? A refrigerator, he wanted not a microwave, but he wanted a air conditioning, things like that. And he gave her the money to go buy it because he didn't want to go do it. So the landlord was aware of this and everybody else was aware of this, but she kept standing out there demanding it. And finally everybody basically came to agreement and they said, no, you're not going to get it because we know you didn't pay for it. So anyways, all her stuff got taken out. After they were done, they actually allowed her to go back in, make sure nothing was in there so she couldn't show up later on and say, oh, you know, my stuff is here still. So she said, yes, everything is out, everything is done. But then what happened was the guy himself, what happened was right before they were ready to leave, a friend of his showed up who spoke and understood Tagalog. So if anything was going to be said then afterwards, at least he had somebody there to interpret. So they turned around then, they actually went down to the police department. I spoke to him the other day, asked him what happened. He said they were trying to tell him he's got to pay her money, and I guess they finally agreed, I don't know why, they finally agreed that he would give her 6,000 pesos. I don't know if that's because that's what he was paying her per month and that was her allowance. So he agreed to pay her 5,000 pesos. 6,000 pesos. And then I guess that was the end of everything. So I haven't seen or heard from her, and it's only been a couple days. But I would imagine if she shows up now, the barangay will just throw her out.
She already banned before. I just don't understand why she keeps coming back.
Yeah.
She's great. But you know, one thing you need to like be something also like I said, if you're that crazy when you're drunk, you don't need to drink.
Right.
You're just that kind of crazy. Like you don't know how to control yourself. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, he told me, he said she would just start banging on things and throwing dishes and throwing cups like for no apparent reason, you know. And you know what, when he first met her, I'm sure everything was great, everything was awesome, you know, everything was a honeymoon, everything was going great. But then again, you know, that honeymoon period's over and then the true reality set in. You know, maybe she realized it wasn't working out and maybe she got mad because, you know, her X amount of money was going out the door.
No, she said last time, because remember when she invited, like the guy thought that they're just only, you remember they get barbecue, and then the guy thought only her friend, and he was kind of shocked when he see her family was there.
Oh yeah,
like the mother. That I don't give a shit about. She said like he don't know where he go. Because I just see him, all his family was there. So don't tell me she don't know where where she go.
They just all showed up and
then the mother was pushing him to marry her.
Oh,
And I think that's how they started.
Yeah.
The guy don't want married.
Yeah.
And for the also the from the beginning, he already knows that.
right. Yeah, I
it's
mean,
up to you.
that's the thing, you know.
Yan lang.
Even if you meet somebody online, you know, you don't know the person until you come here. Then if you come here and only spend a week or two with that person, you still don't really know them. You know, as soon as you leave, anything could happen. You know, you got to come here. You got to spend time with the person here. Don't make any commitments. You know, I think what happens is sometimes guys make these commitments to these girls. You know, oh, I'm going to marry you, and we're going to have kids, and we're going to live happily ever after. And then when it doesn't happen, you know, the girl gets mad. You know, you can't blame the girl. You know, there are guys here that do this to these girls. You know, not necessarily always here in Angeles. It could be in the province. You know, they make these promises and everything like that, and the girls, you know, they expect it all to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and then yes, they get mad.
Yeah.
You even have guys here that they know exactly how to play these girls. They go into the relationship, telling them flat out, I don't want a girlfriend. I want you know, just a companion, somebody to travel with. No, I'm not going to give you an allowance. Your allowance is you're going to be staying with me. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to put clothes on your back. And then guess what? After you get tired and the relationship becomes new, you kick them to the curb and you fall behind that excuse and that saying, well, I told them up front, this is what I was going to do. But you know what? These girls go in to a lot of these relationships and they think, you know what? I've changed the foreigner's mind. You know, I'll get him to love me. I'll get him to want to marry me. I'll get him to, you know, have a child with me. And the thing is, the ones that these foreigners, a lot of them go after, are the younger girls from these small provinces that don't know any better. You know, they have these hopes and these dreams. Because trust me, if you walked up to a girl here who has a college education, works in a hospital, is a lawyer, is a doctor, is a dentist, has something going for herself, has a good family with money, and you tell them that, you know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you to hit the road. They don't need you. But see, that's what happens. Some of these guys that come in here and they pull these little games, you know, and then they hide behind the fact, well, I told the girl up front. Well, you know what? Maybe you did, but you know exactly what you're doing. But anyways, you know, look, you have anything to say? Any input on this?
What did I do? I don't know what's the whole story because I'm not there. Only Kuya tell me.
She gets it through chismis.
Yeah, but
I mean, what are your thoughts? What do you think about the guys? You know, some guys, you know, they do come in and they do take care of the girls. I know quite a few people here that come here, and while they're here, they have a companion with them. They take care of them, and the girl knows it up front. And while the guy's here for a month or whatever, they're traveling, they're having a good time, and it's already established. It's already established.
Well, because sometimes you can't also hide the fact that sometimes it happen also. Like maybe the girl knows that it's only like companion, something like that, but she don't really mean to love him, and then later on like she fall in love with her.
Oh, yeah.
With him. It's happened also, but there's also some like foreigner also scam women. So some woman learn to it, and then it's imbalance, you know. I mean, like, for me, I always believe everything happened for a reason, for something, or something good, or something bad. They're always good and they're always bad. Maybe at that time they make mistake, and you need to learn about it, you know.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, the guy even told me, he goes, I've never had a problem like this before with a crazy girlfriend.
Oh, woman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Real talk. There's women out there always act like shit. For some reason, I don't know. But my advice, if you act like crazy while you're drinking, you don't need to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not good for you, you know. She's just lucky enough that the guy don't do nothing. Like, he was so calm instead of like she always disturb the neighbor also. She always disturb me. Like when she drunk, she's like non-stop.
Yeah.
Last time I'm ready to go out and talk to her.
Look was ready to go crazy on the girl. But anyway,
I did.
yeah. But anyways, you know what? I thought I'd share that story with you. What do you do if you have a crazy girlfriend? I don't know.
Well, for me, what do you do when the first time it happened already? Don't go back,
Yeah.
because it still keep going,
Yeah.
and same over and over.
Or, like I told the guy, I said, your best move is to move.
Exactly.
You know, he was renting a furnished apartment, and I think his contract's up. So I told him, I said, maybe the only thing you're going to be able to do is move and not tell her where you're moving to. But anyways, what do you do when you have a crazy girlfriend? I guess do what you got to do to get out of the situation.